welcome back to the Acting Danny channel and welcome to the second episode of this new series with myself and Andrew Connor. You should know a little bit more about us by now if you've watched the first episode. And in this one we're going to talk about our stories of auditioning, self-taping, the rejections, the successful times when you do book a job, the waiting game, the quiet periods, the whole shebang. So if that's what you want to hear about, which I know quite a lot of you will do because I see it all on social media all the time and I'm sure you do yourself, stay tuned because that's what we're going to be talking about. So yeah, auditioning and self-taping. Where do we begin?
Do you know what I enjoy it actually? I'm pulling that face like being negative. But I do enjoy because at the end of the day, obviously trying to promote yourself all the time, doing stuff like this.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Doing projects and creating projects and stuff. When you get a self-taping, the agent sends you through self-taping stuff like that.
Yeah.
Send it over to you.
Yeah.
And then you're doing it, you actually feel like you are productively doing something.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
You are enhancing your chances for success. Really, because each
job
the
self-tape or the audition is part of the actual job, isn't it? That's your work.
Really,
yeah.
It's just, and if you don't get it, it's unpaid for work.
Yeah, basically. Unless you get a recall, sometimes you get paid for that. Sometimes, depends.
My agents got this thing called Tagman. You got Tagman?
Yes, no, I have known of it. I was I'm not my previous agent, who shall not be named because it was part of the certain scandal that's happened recently.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Name them then.
Yes, which I've already done a video about on the channel. But yeah, they used Tagman, shall we say? But yeah, I have heard of it. Yeah, but my current agent doesn't use it.
Tagman. I mean, it's a good thing because you actually see the agents doing.
I don't think I like that though because it winds you up. It's like a tease, isn't it?
This is what I was going to moan about. Because as good as it is, because you can see the agents putting stuff forward for stuff.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're always left thinking, are you bothering? Are you actually bothering at all?
Yeah.
You're left thinking of that. You can't prove it or anything. Not that you want to. Just in case any agents are listening. But with Tagman, you see that they're doing stuff for you. The only killer about it, which I hate, you can see all the shit that you weren't successful in. And some of it's a teaser as well.
That's what I mean. It's a teaser because you'll see, you'll see like a feature film with, I don't know, Tom Cruise or whatever it might be.
Well, I've seen something like that. I was put forward for the next Danny Boyle film.
Yeah.
Which was obviously 28 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
And maybe 28. This isn't it? Anyway, whatever. It's that. So obviously Cillian Murphy's got to be in it.
Yeah.
So imagine just the chance of that. And Danny Boyle, one of my favourite directors. So I was all like, oh yeah, get me in on that. That'll be that. And when you don't even hear and you don't even get a self-tape for it, oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
It's a kick in the tezzies.
It's a massive kick in the teeth. But so obviously then, like I say, sometimes obviously you don't get to see these things. Sometimes you do. Like I say, from my experience, and I'm one of them. I've got my agent's emails on VIP, so I get so my phone gets a little ding, and I'm always waiting for that little ding. But I enjoy both of it. I enjoy self-taping in the sense of you're in the comfort of your own home, and I don't know, that gives me that bit of comfortability, if you like. But I do also like going into the room and auditioning because you can actually meet the casting director, and stuff like that, and might be able to get a bit of a better feel of you. I don't know, because I think it's a bit more personal with a self-tape and an audition.
I fucking hate it, to be honest. Well, pardon my language. I hate it. I hate normal auditions.
Yeah.
I have verbal vomit. I'm terrible. I'm honestly awful. I think sometimes due to not getting some jobs, it's down to how crap I am in the audition room. where I land jobs more in self-tapes, probably because I can edit it and everything. Yeah. I always do my self-tape as professionally as possible. You could probably just use that and don't even have to get me to do it. But anyway, the problem is when I actually go to an audition, oh my God, shut up, Andy. And also my acting becomes shit. It becomes as worse as what it was.
So the nerves take over.
Well, the problem is, right, you know, you learn the script in a certain way at home and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, for a security blanket, you can have it hovering by the camera. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can have a quick glimpse at it, remember your line, and
Go.
deliver.
Yeah, yeah.
And but the problem with an audition, you want to look like you're off the script.
Yeah.
But the problem is, to fully be off script, you need a lot longer than what they give you. And also,
Especially if you get like, I'll say like a soap audition, soap opera audition, because with that, well, in all fairness with them, you don't actually have to be off book due to the fact of you pretty much turn up like 15 minutes before we get given a script, and it's like, there you go.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially with Corey, top secret.
Yeah.
But
they don't expect you to be off book, so that kind of
So, but still,
it takes. I know what you mean. Yeah. It takes away from the performance in it because you've constantly got to.
Yeah, and in that situation, I'll be beating myself up. Oh, I should have got off script sooner. I've only had it for 5 minutes. But also not just that. Even if you've had the script for like near enough a week and you're near the script perfect, word perfect and everything, you're
when
off
you
script.
get in the room, it's different.
As soon as everything changes around, that's it. It throws you off.
It's different in the room. Yeah, you've got to be able to be comfortable in the room. Like I remember, I did so the first part I did on Corrie when I mugged Avery Platt, and I actually went for a face-to-face audition for that one, and they ended up it was Matt Hilton and Jenny Radcliffe in the room, and we had a laugh about the Netflix show that was trending at the time, which was Don't F with Cats. So I remember that was quite a positive audition experience because literally was talking about that for about 15 minutes and there was like, should we get on with the email? I was like, oh yeah, better add. You kind of forget what you're there for and then you're like, oh yeah, I better do that.
See, now the thing...
So that weren't a bad audition experience, but I know what you mean.
No, well, I'm going to make an example from that because that sounds like a good audition. You got
yeah, but that wasn't a bad audition.
So to go back, way back, because I won't talk about my recent stuff just yet. But I went for a Coronation Street audition once, and it was a bad audition. And when I say it was a bad audition, I was a verbal vomit. Something wrong with me. I was talking to Jenny, and she was asking the questions and stuff like that. Oh, you've seen Coronation Street? No. No, I don't watch it.
Yeah, that's probably not your biggest selling point.
Yeah, so straight away I shot on that one, and then they tried bringing it back around. The horrible thing is, at the time, I think I was learning in Manchester, and I had experience with some bad actors, and it reminded me of a scene from Coronation Street, and I was thinking, I don't like watching Coronation Street, it reminds me of the acting classes. And that was going through my head, and I just didn't want to turn around.
No offence intended to Coronation.
People in Manchester at all. It's not
I've had the pleasure of working on Corrie twice, and I've loved it both times. So no offence intended.
Yeah, I haven't worked on Corrie. I think I did extra work once on Corrie, and for those.
You did Emmerdale, huh?
But I did Emmerdale. Emmerdale was good, but
still ITV soap.
Yeah, so that was good. But still, I vomited down there, and it was also like what I was saying as well, because I went through an audition for something like I was going to say recent, like last year, and when I went into the room, they do this stuff, and it's not fun, where they get your script right, and basically let's say it's two different scenes. You learn lines for that scene, and later on the second scene, they mash it together, and say we'll just do it back to back, and you think, oh man. And because you worked it out and you think, well, that seems angry and that seems like chilled out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to have that moment to sort of emotionally get yourself ready.
Yeah, of course you do.
And you just, oh my god.
And then from then as well, it's not just a straight switch. You've got to go on the journey then, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to go on the journey from either being angry to calming down or working your way up to raging.
Yeah. And because you do that and you're trying to speed it along, you end up cocking up your lines and stuff like that. And you think, and you come away from the audition, you feel frustrated. I want to go back in and go, I didn't think that was fair. I want to do it my way. Because my way, I would have got the part.
No, but that is the thing. How many people and they always try to say to you, don't they, like, right, when you've done your audition, you take, let it go. It's out of your hands now. It's so hard.
No,
It's so hard to just let it go and just be like, right, it's out of my hands now. And it's like, because no, I really want this.
No, depends on how big the audition is. I used to be big on money at one point. When I say big on money, I'm more skins. So that's not a factor.
No, the money spoke to you.
Well, I went for an audition ages ago. This is ages ago. Now I can sort of cut it out a little bit now, because you try not to think about it. But it was an audition for 10 grand. So I would have got the part. I would have got 10 grand and stuff. Oh my God, man! It was like when they turned around and said, "Well, can you just give us your name and age for the camera, please?" I just wanted to go, Andrew Connor, 10 grand, please. That's what always going for me. 10 grand, 10 grand. May you speak these lines? 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. Agent's cut a little bit, 10 grand though. That's all that was going for me.
10 grand management.
Anyway, I didn't get that part. So, don't know why.
Possibly because they just thought he was after the money.
I didn't want to give him that idea.
But that brushes nicely over to the next part. I want to talk about the lovely thing of getting a rejection.
See, rejection is something we should be used to because we're both in relationships.
Definitely got to be.
Yeah.
You have definitely got to be strong-minded to be in this business. There's a lot of no before there's even a snippet of possibly a yes.
But that's a lie because there's no. There's no no's. You don't get a no because they don't tell you. You have
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's no rejection letters. You don't get letters anymore.
It depends with some. So it's like I was saying before off camera. I went for a casting for a commercial recently. I did get down to the recall, and they did actually give me a no.
Yes.
Which I respected and appreciated.
Yes.
But the large majority of this industry, it's just a case of turn up. We want you to turn up an audition, but you're only getting told if you get it. Which, there is a big debate about that, especially on social media. The hashtag yes or no thing. People. There's people out there that think there should be a yes or a no. There's people out there that aren't that bothered. I'm kind of in the middle. I would appreciate a no, but at the same time, I think I've kind of trained myself now. Like I said, I've been in the business for 10 years. And I think I've trained myself now to know that, especially, depending on the shoot day, stuff like that, if you've not been sober within a week, then you haven't got it.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. I used to be on the side of, I want to know, I think it's rude that you do not make us aware that we haven't got the part. I was full of shit. Don't listen to me. Because a no sucks, man. A no is so bad. I got a no a few months back.
It does darken the email inbox somewhat, doesn't it?
It's so bad. And then they make it sound so positive. And then the 2 sentences in, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. So good. So impressed with Andrew Connor. We enjoyed his audition. Unfortunately,
David Tennant's audition, therefore you're not getting
that brings me to another argument. But I hate that. I don't like the no's now because I always thought I wanted the no. I just like to figure it out. If I haven't got it, because I did get one, and I thought that feels like crap. That
I think it's one of them as well. If you're mentally strong enough, I like I say, if you've been in the game for a few years and you've got the experience of, pardon me, knowing that, like I say, after a week or so, if you've not been told yes, then it's a no. I think you can kind of get on with it. Yeah. But I can understand at the same time there's people out there do want that no for a bit of closure.
Yeah, they want closure.
And at the end of the day, the amount of, especially, if you've got to go to London, especially, pay to get down to London, the 3-hour train ride and all this, that and the other.
No.
If it's a self-tape, setting up your tripod, learning your lines, getting someone else to learn your lines and stuff like that, it's a big undertaking. So I can understand why people are like, for all the effort and money and everything that I put in, I'd like to know either way.
That's a stinger note that if you had to travel and spend that amount of money on something,
not cheap for London.
I mean, straight away it's got to be worth it, like 10 grand. 10 grand. I'm going to London. But when you don't get it, it's like, I don't like you.
Yes.
And when you see it turn up on TV, like,
I had that recently.
Like this advert.
The recent commercial casting I went for, the KFC one. Some of you may have seen it. It's for the new barbecue bucket burger, whatever the bleeding hell it is. And there's a girl dancing down the street. I went for the shopkeeper, and I remember the first time I seen it, and I did look at him a bit like, I could strangle you. But then, in all fairness, I'm quite proud that I did quickly was like, no, do you know what? Fair play with him.
Yeah.
Fair play with getting it, and I hope you had fun doing it.
Well, that's it, because
You've got it, but you have got to try and be that way. I remember putting it out there, as much as it is quite hard, because you did want the part, so there is going to be a little bit of bitterness festering.
Yes.
But it is. I find it better to try and not let that win, and try your best to celebrate all the success, if that's the right word, and just
Well, their
be a
success,
good person.
celebrate for them. Oh, you can't really be a good person with that. Honestly, because I've done it where I've looked at the part, and you can't help it. You've got to snoop to see why you didn't get the part. And sometimes, sorry, just thinking about it. I remember, I think it was the first series of the Responder.
Yeah.
Anything on Merseyside at the moment, I've probably gone for and not got.
Yeah.
The Responder, basically what it was like just a small part. It was like a fire chief or something, and that's about what I went for. Straight away, it's funny. And it was something like he turned around to this guy and went, "You in my office now," type of thing. And I was like, "Yeah, you in my office now." When I seen the part, there's a big bustly guy like, "You in my office now." I thought, fair enough. Because, little me, 5'3", standing up, oh, I'm in my office now. I'll beat you up, lad. So I understood that worked. But when you see them and they look slightly similar to you, and they're not acting probably to the standard that you knew you could have acted,
yeah.
No. And you don't like it.
I can see your chin muscles are tense.
Oh yeah. It sounds horrible to say this, but you always, at some point in the acting career, and I'm going to be honest, you always have a rival. Always.
Yeah.
There's
I won't
always
say rival. There's someone who's got the same cast.
There's always that guy.
And that goes for the
who
same.
Seems to be a bit similar, and always gets your parts.
Jack Whitehall made a joke out of it, didn't he? One of his stand-up gigs, him and Robert Pattinson kind of went for the same roles, and obviously Robert Pattinson got Twilight, and Jack Whitehall didn't. Yeah. So there's a story. There's a story on that level.
That's true. But you can't be jealous of other people's successes. They've earned it at the end of the day. Oh, one moan. Right, another moan. Is going for a part. Is actually going for the part, not getting the part. And you find out there's a bit of a celebrity got that part, and you think,
that's what you meant. Yeah.
Why cast it? Why cast it for the little man in the first place? Just give it to them. I'm not bitter.
Diet Coke break. And then so that leads me on to what I next wanted to talk about, which was the quiet periods in the business. Now, I've done a little video about that myself from my point of view recently, but I just wanted to know, obviously, your thoughts from different agents, like I say, different places in the north, obviously, the Wirral, Manchester. So what's your experience of it and observations of it and stuff? Like another Diet Coke break. This could be a long one.
This is an aggressive one. Now, do you know what's annoying about it, to be honest with you? Our quiet periods are not necessarily quiet. It involves auditioning.
Yeah.
And auditioning. But when people ask, what have you got going on? Nothing, just auditioning.
Yeah.
Really? That's a lie. Really, we're auditioning. We're waiting for it.
Yes.
We're not getting it. We're getting the rejection.
And
then repeat. Also, the killer is if you're auditioning for, let's say, an important part, you even get a recall for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the name again, Responder, because I went for that, got recall for that. And then eventually you see it popping up on the front of magazines, advertised on TV, and you're like, I'm going to watch you because I want to see you've got my part, the bastards. No, I want to watch it anyway.
Let's be honest, there is a little bit of that in it.
Oh yeah,
there's a little bit of that in it. I remember last year I got a take for Boiling Point. The Stephen Graham one on BBC One, and I didn't get it. And I did see I seen the scene, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't jealous of that one.
Yeah.
Because I felt actually quite bad for the actor that got it because they didn't do him justice because you couldn't really see him.
Oh yeah. It's sick though.
You
But
couldn't
it's
really
fun
see
when
him,
that
and I
happens.
I felt quite bad for him because I was like, do you know what? Because I know, obviously, like I say, because I'd got the same tape he got,
Yeah.
and he's gone to the work that I went through as well.
Yeah.
And he's probably got really excited and told everyone that I'm doing blah 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 and the other. And literally, because he's got his hood up as well in it,
Yeah.
it made it very very tricky to see him, and I felt quite bad for him.
See, you're a better person than me because to be honest, if that happened to me, I'd be like, Matthew, I don't waste my time. I mean, that's it. That's all I'll be thinking because you get hyped up, like what you said, you'd be hyped up. But imagine if that was you, you're like, what?
Yeah, of course
Is
you do.
that it?
Of course you do. As soon as you I recently booked a role on Curry, and as soon as I could talk about it, I was talking about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a certain period where you're not allowed to,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. But yeah, as soon as I could talk about it, I could. So I knew that that's what he would have done. I was like, I actually feel genuinely gutted for him.
On that note, you know what? One thing I do love is when you get those scripts. Like, let's say, well, Corey doesn't really do it, the top secrets on it. But Emmerdale, for example, if you get a script from Emmerdale, you're let into the secret. You know what's going to happen in loads of episodes in the future. That's a cool thing about it. Even if you don't get the part, you're sort of let into like the little secret society. And you know what's coming. You know what's going to happen.
And you also know you'll die if you release this information.
You do get scared. Like, I mean, obviously you don't put it on social media. You're screwed.
At all.
Your career's screwed up if you've done that. But then it even gets you to the point there if you talk about it at work.
It's mad, isn't it?
Like, wow,
You've
what
got
if
to
they
watch
sell
it,
someone?
so it's like, even if you're talking to your mum or something, you're like, that mum, don't have that extra glass of wine. Just keep your
Don't tell, no. Because people are like, oh, really? So that's what happens to them. Oh, and then you panic. Don't tell anyone. I know what's going to happen.
So I'm gonna wrap this one up as well because this has been 20 minutes. We're doing well with these episodes.
Oh yeah.
We're doing really well. We hope you're enjoying them.
And it's good to get the frustration out.
Well, yeah, that was our kind of little stories about auditions and self-tapes and the funny things we've encountered, some of the negative things, some of the things that beat you down. But again, it's about having that strong mentality and trying to keep on. Obviously, Will Mellor released that. He said that on the one show the other day. Then he was very nearly to giving up acting, and then Mr. Bates versus the Post Office came up, and all of a sudden his career was reignited again. So it can happen at the drop of a hat. But again, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. There is more to come, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything.